Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, welcome to your 18-month forecast for the Nodal Lunar shift into Pisces and Virgo. You are in for lots of change, especially since you are already going through so much change because you have Pluto in your house for the next 20 years. So expect lots of transformation and depth. Welcome, beloved souls. Welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Vivía, and this is my channel, Your Soul as Well, where I use astrology to help us navigate our shifting and exciting and sometimes turbulent world. I am a certified professional astrologer using the Western tropical zodiac, and I'm delighted to have you here with me today. I want to remind everybody that this is what I do for work, and I'm really trying to build my presence here. So if you like my work, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss an upload. Here's your chart, Aquarius. And with this nodal shift, with the south node here in your 8th house and the north node here in your 2nd house, which occurred earlier this year on the 11th, 12th, depending on where you are in the world. And with this nodal shift moving into the south node into your 8th house, your 8th Virgonian house, and the north node moving into your 2nd Piscean house, this shift is placing an emphasis on those two houses, with the north node being the point where we have to put energy into and focus, draw our attention to, and the south node in the 8th house being the point of release or letting go, or the point of dissipation, the weaker point. So this will bring a significant shift for you, Aquarius, and will occur, as I said, from January, from mid-January of this year. So it's already started until the end of July of next year, 2026. So since this house is highlighting the 2nd and 8th houses, it will be bringing focus to the area of personal finances, self-worth, and your values, all seen in the 2nd house, as well as shared resources, intimacy and transformation, and detoxification seen through the lens of the 8th house. With the north node in your 2nd house, there will be an emphasis and a need for greater personal autonomy through your own personal finances, perhaps generating your own money there, more so than perhaps you are now, and a less focus on resources coming in from other people through your 8th house. So whether that is your relationship or a business partnership or some type of investment or residual income, more focus being placed on you actually making money and the value of that for you, as well as that your own creativity through that. You may also discover new ways to make money through your own talent or ingenuity. With the north node here in your 2nd house, there will be just more emphasis on you making more of your own money and perhaps even saving your money for long-term wealth, particularly since Saturn is placed there as well. This is a time to reassess or revalue your own values, your own personal value system, especially how it applies to material possessions and spirituality versus spiritual fulfillment. You may find through this course that your values are shifting. There is a definite need to recognize your self-worth, which is not necessarily based on your financial situation. So since the 2nd house is all about your self-esteem, this transit will focus on increasing your self-esteem, valuing yourself, for your unique individual person that you are. You will be recognizing your own personal talents and what you bring to the table, what you have to offer. There will be a focus on what you need and what you want. There may be a desire to own more and to acquire more material possessions, but again, you will be going through this and reassessing this and deciding what is more important to you. With your south node in the 8th house, which is associated with other people's money and resources, shared wealth, money coming in from different investments and residual income, perhaps inheritances. It's also this house about intimacy, as well as a detoxification, and it's a deeply psychological house as as well. So it will be a time of surrendering and releasing around all of those issues. There might be, as I said, less money coming in from any other sources that are not directly connected to you actually making money. It could be a time for shifting in personal relationships and intimate relationships, and definitely a need to detoxify and clear out mental stagnations or psychological stagnations, and even with the body as well. This shift is going to have you needing to trust and surrender to the divine forces of the universe, and to trust that there is abundance available to all, and certainly to you, beloved Aquarius. It is time to reflect on where you have been overly dependent on others for money or finances or any resource or anything to do with your own psychological health. And it's a time to move towards greater self-reliance in these areas. As I said, this transit might bring a shift in shared resources and may affect things like loans and investments. And it might be best to avoid taking out loans in this period of time. In terms of your own emotional psychology, your own personal emotional intimacy with self and emotional depth, this transit is really wonderful for releasing old fears or phobia or stagnation or stuck thought patterns, and really embracing the fullness of who you are and what is possible. I think that you will find that there is this urge to release rigid beliefs around self-sufficiency and having you step more into your own authority and independence. If you look back on June 2026 to December 2007 is when we last had this transit, with the North Node in your second and the South Node in your eighth. So you can look back to then to see if there were any similar themes or anything that came up around this time, just to have kind of a map of perhaps what you might be going through this time. Those similar things may crop back up. So as soon as the node moves in, it's already applying to a conjunction with Neptune. I'm going to go through all the aspects now, and if you want a more thorough breakdown of all of the aspects, please listen to part 2 of my nodal shift. I also did a part 1 that you can listen to, because I just wanted to cover this really thoroughly. There's lots to go through, and if you don't know enough about the nodes, you can also listen to my part 1 to the video talking about what the lunar nodes are. I would just like to remind everybody, if you are new to my channel and if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps support my work and it helps me produce more free content for you. So also remember to like and hit the notification bell, because I will be doing more uploads, and please share it out, and do not forget to comment below if you have any questions or would like to add anything at all to the conversation. And shortly after, on February 1st, Venus makes its first conjunction out of 4 that it will make to the North Node. At the same time, the first conjunction is happening alongside the Moon, conjuncting all together there with Neptune. So all these planets, the Moon, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node, are all together around 28 degrees of Pisces. And this is, as I said already in my previous video, brings such a mystical, beautiful, wonderful energy to set off this whole Piscean transit. And here in your second house, I really want to encourage you to dream big about what you can possibly achieve through your own planning and initiation of steps towards your own financial independence, and using your own creativity and your own talents, and also taking a look at your own value system about who you are and how you fit in. It's such a beautiful time to do that. And you can look back on that transit and see how it has affected you, and how you will be moving into this Piscean North Node transit. On February 7th or 6th of this year, the North Node will come into a complete conjunction with Neptune. And again, just emphasizing mysticism, spirituality, but also us needing to, this whole transit, staying grounded and embodied, because it's really just opening up this energy that feels very surreal, but also is very spiritual and very divine, like divine miracles, and almost like a transcendent quality to it. But so staying grounded will be important. On February 27th of 2025, we have a significant full moon happening at 9 degrees here of Pisces. 'Cause, 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 'cause because later on we'll have a solar eclipse right at this point on March 29th. And then later on next year, we'll have a lineup of planets returning to this very same place in your chart. So this new moon is initiating something at 9 degrees here in your second house of finances and personal worth. So it's a great time. This is a great time to plant a seed and initiate something new. If you have been thinking about doing something new in your life around developing your resources, your own personal finances, and how you value and view yourself, this is a great time. Right after that, on March 1st, Mercury will conjunct the North Node. So just following right up with that new moon energy and planting a seed, you'll have Mercury coming in and helping you with developing ideas and bringing forth perhaps new communication or new styles of thought processes to how you can go about actioning and putting your plan forward. It could be also, every time I've seen Mercury conjunct the North Node, I've seen just information and downloads coming in from spirit. And for you, it will be, I think, around your self-worth, your self-esteem, and your own money and possessions. On March 14th or 13th, depending on where you are in the world, we will be having a lunar eclipse at 23 degrees of Virgo right here in your 8th house. So something ending in your 8th house, and it could be with shared resources or some type of investment or moving away from some type of investment. But then right after that, on March 29th, we have the eclipse I just mentioned at 9 degrees following that new moon. So if something is being lost here in your 8th house, a personal resource of other people's resources or investments, there's a great opportunity, a portal of energy opening up to really initiate something for yourself, something that perhaps you already planted a seed with. This solar eclipse in your first house will be pushing that along for you in a very timely and divinely guided way. So again, just trusting that process. As doors are closing, doors are opening. On June 9th of 2025, Jupiter moves from your 5th house of Gemini into your 6th house of Cancer. And as I said in my previous video, this bodes well for us all because Jupiter is the ancient ruler of the sign of Pisces. So it is the dispositor in your chart of the 2nd house, and it will be there for almost the whole time that the North Node is there, because Jupiter does not leave this house until the end of June of 2026. And so for a short period of time, we have both the modern ruler of Pisces, Neptune, and the ancient ruler of Pisces, Jupiter, influencing your 2nd house. And it's an amazing opportunity to start new things, take on new projects, those things that you had seeded, whatever new ideas or whatever you had implemented, in this time period, you could really see it flourishing. On April 1st of this year, 2025, Venus conjuncts the North Node for her 2nd time at 27 degrees here of Pisces. So she will still be in shadow, or rather she will be in retrograde at this point. So perhaps not as strong as the first conjunction, but there's going to be, again, a reevaluation of your finances, of your possessions, challenging the polarity within you of your possessions and spirituality, and also placing, again, emphasis on looking at how you personally finance yourself and resource yourself. April 21st, Saturn conjuncts the North Node at 26 degrees of Pisces. I see this stabilizing here and bringing more stability and structure to this Piscean house, which Pisces can be just, immersed in oneness and a bit ungrounded, can get a bit ungrounded. So when Saturn comes in here, I think you'll be able to concretize more of your plans for long-term wealth building, if that's what you're wishing to do, or around bringing more of a seriousness to your own value of self and how you look at yourself. On April 23rd, Venus conjuncts the North Node for her third pass now. She's now in direct motion at 26 degrees of Pisces. She is in shadow, but this is her third pass over. And again, time to reassess what you're doing. It's going to be a great opportunity to see if what you're doing is working for you or not. On August 15th of this year, Venus will be here in your 6th house of Cancer. She will have just conjuncted Jupiter, and she will trine your 2nd house. Benevolent, positive energy flowing from your 6th 6th house of work and everyday habits and employees, if you have one or you are one, to your 2nd house of finances. And this is such auspicious energy for you, beloved Aquarius. This is such a time if you've been using these moments to start something new. So watch for those dates. And again, go back to that other video if you would like to have more information on this. Then shortly after that, on September 3rd, Jupiter makes its exact conjunction, its exact trine with the North Node in your 2nd house at 18 degrees of Pisces. So this flow and of harmony and opportunity again flowing to this house right shortly after Venus has influenced it and left her magic behind. On September 7th, there will be a lunar eclipse at 15 degrees of Pisces right here again in your 2nd house. So this is a lunar eclipse. So things are closing, but it's at the North Node. So there's opportunity coming in. So closures and starts to things. So remember that if anything is closing or leaving behind, it could be something to do with your own sense of self or your own ability. New energy will shortly be following that, and to remember to trust the divine and trust the flow. Then on September 21st, there will be a solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo, right where the North Node is right now. There will be a solar eclipse. So remember that the 29th degree is critical degree, which means that it does sometimes bring points of crises in our lives. And being that it's in your 8th house, as I had said earlier, it's a good time right now to make sure that it's a good time for all of us to be taking care of our health. For yourself, you might want to look at detoxifying in whichever way you see fit or think is appropriate. So again, closures and endings here in your 8th house. Moving on to next year, on February 11th, 2026, Mercury conjuncts the North Node at 9 degrees. So this is that 9 degrees I was speaking to you about earlier with the new moon in the 2nd house, and then a lineup of planets hitting the 2nd house of yours. It first starts with Mercury. February 17th, Venus conjuncts the North Node at 8 degrees. On February 27th, the Sun comes along and conjuncts the North Node at 8 degrees as well. On March 13th, Mars comes along and conjuncts the North Node at 8 degrees. So first, Mercury's coming in and it's stimulating your mind and it's bringing you back to the new moon that happened earlier. And then Venus comes along and it's her 4th pass. And by this time, there's going to be with Mercury there and Venus there. February 17th, I think you're just going to be really able to understand your value around money and worth and see that burgeoning in your life. And then with the Sun there, it's just on February 27th, more opportunity to actualize, because this the planet, the Sun as a symbol is where it highlights and brings light to wherever it is and vitality. So in this energy coming in for you around being able to actualize and just bring it through more and just more conscious awareness of your value system and your money and your personal resources. And as it applies as well to other people, your intimacy and relying on other people. I think there will be a lot of clarity for you around that at this point in time. And then again, with Mars coming in, you're going to be able to action even more the things that you had previously reassessed and reevaluated and put into action. March 22nd, Mercury will conjunct the North Node, I said already, at 8 degrees. And at this time, Mercury is in direct motion. So just another opportunity, like all this culminating to just clarity around what it is that you really value, how to value yourself and material possessions, as well as your own self-worth. By July 26th, the nodes shift out. North Node moves into your 1st house of Aquarius. And that's going to be interesting with the North Node being at 29 degrees and Pluto also occupying this house. What a transformative time that will be for you, beloved Aquarius. And the South Node will be transiting into your seventh Leo house of others and relationships. So the important themes for you in this time period, Aquarius, will be on financial independence and self-worth. It's really important to trust in the abundance of the universe, to surrender to that divine flow. You may have to release attachments to old fears and reliances on others and move away from analyzing your finances and resources. It's a really great time to prioritize what you need, Aquarius, and to focus on building your own financial independence. Again, recognizing your own self-worth and self-reliance are going to be key in this transit, and developing your own personal skills and talents. It's important to be really open to new ways of making money and to not rely too heavily on others for support. This nodal shift presents an opportunity, such a wonderful opportunity for you really to really hone in on your own resources, your own personal value system, valuing self, and really building your own financial wealth if you haven't already, or furthering along if you have already. This transit is likely to bring significant shifts in these areas of your life, and I'd love to hear all about it, so make sure to leave me a comment. Well, that's what I have for you, beloved Aquarius. Thank you for listening. Stay blessed, beloved Aquarius, and I'll see you in the next video.